The God complex, the thin line that destroys leaders. The line between a leader and a God complex is so thin, most people don't even realize they've crossed it. Some people confuse a title with a crown. They start demanding a kind of reverence that should only be reserved for worship. They confuse respect with obedience. And here is the dark, cold truth. When respect turns into worship, power turns into poison. And the moment you start demanding respect instead of commanding it through your character and actions, you are already halfway to building your own cage.
Respect is earned. It's built on consistency, on integrity, and on how you carry yourself when no one is watching. Worship, though, is built on delusion. When people stop admiring you and start obeying you without question, that is not leadership anymore. That's a system of control. The sad part is most people don't even notice the transition. They start thinking, I deserve this admiration. But what you've earned is respect, not worship. The moment you start craving validation like it's oxygen, you're not a leader. You're just a performer. 2. Fear versus loyalty. The mask of power. Let's talk about the God complex. It starts small, an itch for recognition. You want people to notice your work, your efforts, your status. That's normal. But soon, recognition isn't enough. You want reverence. You want people to speak softer around you, to walk on eggshells when you're mad, to nod when you talk, even when you are wrong. And then, boom, you've developed a full-blown God complex. You start confusing fear for respect. You confuse silence for loyalty. Respect that is forced isn't real. It's just fear wearing a polite mask. If you have to keep saying, put some respect on my name, then perhaps you're not actually someone who commands it. You're someone who craves it. If this message is already hitting too close to home, then this channel is for you. We cut through the lies and expose the truth about power, mindset, and success. Hit the subscribe button right now. Let's stay grounded together. 3. The oxygen addiction, the eagle's drug. Here's where it gets dark. When people start worshiping you, you feel it. It's intoxicating. It's the ego's drug. You become addicted to attention and validation. You stop surrounding yourself with honest people and start collecting yes men like Pokemon cards. No one can question you anymore because you mistake honesty for disrespect. The more power you chase, the less human you become. You lose empathy. You lose humility. All that's left is an ego, starving, defensive, and terrified of irrelevance. IV, the follower trap. Why worship kills your judgment. Now let's flip the mirror to the followers. Worship is easier than thinking. It's easier to bow than to build, easier to obey than to question. That's why so many people confuse confidence with divinity. You ever meet people who defend their idols even when they're dead wrong? He didn't mean it. She's just being real. No, they're being delusional, and you're enabling it. That's the danger of worship. It kills your judgment. You stop thinking, you start justifying. And the person you worship stops respecting you because people who worship don't challenge. They just inflate. V. Real respect exists only between equals. Let me say something that will offend a few people. Real respect only exists between equals. When you admire someone but can still question them, that's respect. When you can disagree without being scared, that's maturity. Respect isn't about hierarchy. It's about recognition. Recognizing value in others while still knowing your own. That's why people who truly command respect don't chase it. They don't need worship because their confidence comes from within. The most respected people in any room are often the quietest ones. They don't bark orders. They inspire discipline just by existing.
VI, the 8 signs you've crossed the line. Here's how to know if your respect has crossed into a God complex. 1. They stop questioning you. That's not loyalty, that's fear. 2. You demand it. You've built your throne on insecurity. 3. Disagreement is disrespect. You punish people for being honest. 4. Honesty disappears. You are surrounded by worshipers, not friends. 5. You start using I deserve. You confuse your title with your character. 6. You lose empathy. The problems of others seem small next to your own. 7. You are addicted to praise. You only hear what validates your ego. 8. Your power needs to shout. Real power is quiet, calm, and grounded. If any of these signs hit too close to home, it's time for a reality check.
Final truth. The cure is detachment. Power isn't bad. Ego is. The only way to hold power without letting it consume you is through detachment. Detach from praise. Detach from titles. Detach from the idea that you are somehow above others. The moment you think you're untouchable, that's the exact moment your downfall begins. The savage truth. Power doesn't corrupt people. The hunger to be worshipped does. If you're truly powerful, you don't need to scream for respect. People will sense it. If you're still watching, you're the real one. You understand the core message. You can learn from people, admire them, be inspired by them, but never kneel to them. Because the second you put someone on a pedestal, you've already placed yourself below it. Let me know in the comments, which of the 8 signs did you realize you or someone you know has crossed? Comment detach below if you agree that humility is the ultimate power.